Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Here, real quick, before we get started, we do want to thank all the sponsors real quick before we get any further. We do, of course, need to thank Gold Cube for coming on board, as well as Global Building Contractors, iRacing Drivers World, and Dan Butler Designs. But we have to fix one thing real quick. Tonight is not going very well for us. We need one thing that we need to fix real fast, so we are going to put up a little splash screen here from last night, just a little so don't go anywhere. We will be right back. We need to fix one thing that somehow did not get fixed, so we will be right back. Alright, we apologize for that. Had a little error there that did not want to fix itself. But now that we are back here, we have 2 minutes, so we're going to quickly get through all of this information we have for you here, of course, tonight. Of course, on top of Global Building Contractors, iRacing Drivers World, Dan Butler Designs, and Gold Cube here for this race. We also need to give a big shout out to all of the sponsors here for the broadcast. Those do include Northwest Racing Series, Wool's Beard Co. Beard Balm, RaceOnTexas.com, SimSpeedShop.com, iBog, and of course themselves here at RACECORE for coming on board here for 2019. Again, we have a minute 28 left. We apologize for that little mess up there, but we do have it sorted out now. So we will be right back here after the national anthem with qualifying.
We take you down onto the track for our opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Please remove your hats.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous flight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen, and qualifying is underway as we're going to go ahead and drop down to the track with these drivers here. And we also need to report in, of course, anyone that has any penalties coming into tonight. And the only driver that is receiving an EOL here for tonight coming into the race is going to be the 555 of Butch Frazier. That is the only driver that is prohibited from qualifying coming into tonight's race. So we'll definitely be looking to see where everyone else stacks up, as we have a very small field here tonight. But we're not going to let that hinder us here. This is the championship race here for the series. It's a 12-week series, and it is coming to an end here tonight. And we have some really, really close battles going on for the lead. Hopefully, with the lower car count, we'll see if that plays a factor into it or not. As we're going to go to our main camera here, we want to go to Jamir Muhammad real quick, so we'll pull our driver bar up. He is currently 10 points behind Mikey Neal for the championship. So tonight could go, or will go, to Mikey Neal or Jamir Muhammad for the championship. Which one of them is going to take it home tonight? It will all be down to determining where they qualify, how they're going to start this race, but more importantly, how they finish the race, and of course, how many bonus points they will receive throughout the night. We'll be calculating all that in here. Again, throughout the race, we did not get a fuel mileage for any of these guys. I'm sure we'll talk to him here in a minute. As right now, Justin Starr just set the fastest lap with a 53.407, as he is currently your pole sitter, but not for long. Jim Locking, now your pole sitter with a 53.043, as he is the fastest time out on the track right now. So we'll keep those times coming in throughout the rest of the session. Brett Mesry, 53.062, 0.019 behind Jim Locking right now. He's having some connections there in that number 7 machine. The 101 of David Gainforth, currently in third place with a 53.187. And again, we don't know if Bryson Barker is here. He disconnected earlier. We're not sure if he did make it back or not. Looking in the radio channels, I do not see him here with us. So we'll definitely be looking to see if he's possibly going to be able to make it in or not. And I don't see Josh Coley here either. Josh Coley not with us. And Brian Jones, I do see him here. He's just not coming out to qualify. So it will be interesting to see how these guys do stack up and who's not going to go out here. Very surprising that a few drivers have not. And so far, even though qualifying has been underway for quite some time now, Jamir Muhammad has not officially put in a lap, as he's going to do so right now. Neither has Mikey Neal, Alex Huffman, as these guys are usually up at the top. So we'll see. For some reason, if this is his first lap here, he has not completed an official lap for the number 2 of Jamir Muhammad. Let's go back to Mikey Neal, who is coming to the line. He should complete lap number 1 of 2 here for qualifying. And he's going to be a 52.563, the only 52-second time so far here, and he will take the pole so far in qualifying. So we switch over to Jamir Muhammad, who is coming out of turn 2. Oh, and scrapes the wall. That's going to hinder him here for his time. That will invalidate that lap, as the teammate to Mikey Neal in the 83 machine, Alex Huffman, 52.897. He will take it to second place here in qualifying. It's only 2 52-second laps, and they have both gone to Kick Asphalt Motorsports. Jamir Muhammad obviously hit the wall, so his lap is not going to count, even though it is a 52.5. So he would actually have had the pole had that lap counted. So just imagine how fast he's going to be here tonight with a 52.535. He would have actually been faster than your pole sitter here tonight of Mikey Neal had he not hit the wall and invalidated that lap. So keep that in mind when we get ready to get this thing going. Again, you see the driver sitting at the end of pit road right there. That is Butch Frazier. He's in his car, but he can't qualify. If he does, he will receive end of the line, or actually disqualified from the race, period. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of that, as we're going to jump down to the track to get this thing started with, of course, your Walls Beard Co. starting grid here for tonight's race. It's a small field, but we have a lot to go over here to determine who will be your race champion at the end of the night. Now, of course, on pole here tonight, starting on or in first place on row 1 is going to be the 8 of Mikey Neal and the 83, his teammate Alex Huffman. Row 2 is going to be the 91 of Jim Locking and the 7 of Brett Meservy. Row 3 is going to be the 101 of David Gainforth and the 99 of Justin Starr. Row 4 is going to be the 21 of Dan Butler and the 51 of Brandon Young. Row 5 is going to be the 84 of Bryson Barker and the 2 of Jameer Muhammad. Row 6 is going to be the 45 of Brian Jones and the 33 of Josh Coley. Starting in 12th, these guys not qualifying back here. And row 7, rounding out the field here in 13th place, receiving that end-of-line penalty from last week's race. That is a 5:55 of Butch Frazier. And I will do it here for tonight's starting grid presented by Walls Beard Co. Beard Balm. As you see them pulling off Pace Road, they love the way they start here as they go single file. And we have some people cutting over there. Pretty sure they can go above that blue cone here during this, so I don't think any of these guys will receive penalties for that. So that is, hopefully anyway, I don't believe they do before the start of the race. But once they go racing, they will have to stay in between that yellow line and the blue cone until they get to the blue cone, and then they will be cleared to go racing after that point. And it is a very, very tricky spot as it comes right out into the turn. So it's going to be very tricky for these guys to have to do it. We don't have a pit strategy. Questionable with this track being a 2.5 mile track. I imagine we'll probably get somewhere in the 20 range for laps on fuel. I cannot quote that. If we get a caution, we'll talk to the driver, or a driver at least, and see if we can get it out of them, how many laps they'll get on fuel. Right now, we're about ready to get this thing started as the lights are off on the pace car. Being that it's a 2.5 mile track, we will only take one pace lap around this behemoth of a track. And we will go as it's Pocono Raceway, the tricky triangle here for the season finale of the Global Building Contractors 12-week series, as they will be off for a little bit here on Tuesdays. After this, they will restart back in June for the trucks, but they will actually be back on February 17th with the Xfinity cars as the green flag is in the air, ticker is up, and you'll be able to see where everybody is here tonight. And it's going to be some great racing. Again, we're going to be watching for the championship. That is our main goal here for tonight. And that is between Mikey Neal, who is currently first, and Jameer Muhammad, who is back in this pack here, back all the way in 10th place. And that is exactly the amount of points separating them. 10 points coming into tonight's race. And it looks like 12th and 13th, Bryson Barker and Josh Coley did not start the race. So unfortunate there. Those are two less cars. So if we have, 2 or 3 cars get knocked out of this race, this could be detrimental for Jameer Muhammad, as he might not be able to gain enough points to actually do anything with Mikey Neal. So he needs to get up to the front and lead the most laps, get the fastest lap in a session. He needs every single bonus point he can coming into tonight's race if he wants to solidify himself as the champion. If not, the youngster Mikey Neal could possibly walk away with the championship. So those are two drivers we're going to be watching here very, very closely here tonight. We're also going to be watching the battles, and we'll see if Alex Huffman maybe can do something with his teammate here, or will he take it easy? I'm sure there is no pecking order over there at Kick Asphalt Motorsports, as Alex Huffman will do everything in his power to try and get up there and get that lead from Mikey Neal. But Mikey Neal is not going to hand it over either. He is going to fight him till the bitter end. And they will probably get together. They won't wreck each other, but they will probably bump and touch here, and they will race each other extremely hard, just like they would any other competitor. But right now, not a whole lot going on in the track. No surprise there, as they're going to go single file here. There's no point to press the issue. You have plenty of laps. We have still 57 laps to go left in this race. Though it is a 2.5 mile track, we've already completed 2 and on lap 3, fixing to be on lap 4, so we will tick away laps pretty fast. So roughly about 55 minutes or so is what this race would take if we did not have any cautions. Brett Messervy sitting in second place in that number 7 machine. It looks like he may have a new paint job on that number 7 machine as well. So we'll look to see as they come up flying through turn 3. As you can see on the wall, what turn 4? It is, again, the tricky triangle. There's only 3 turns here. It is different than any other track, and that is what RACECORE is known for. They start and finish with different tracks. They obviously wrapped up the season finale this past Sunday at Daytona, of all tracks. So it was an awesome race. We saw a big wreck on top of that, but just an outstanding run for everybody here. As we're going to go back here to this group, as it looks like Jamir Muhammad did just get by Justin Starr. He will take 6th place, and he is trying to make it happen. He's got to get to the front. Right now, he just doesn't have the gap he needs. He needs to get to the front, lead some laps, lead the most laps, and make sure Mikey Neal finishes well behind him, because he could get upwards of 5 bonus points, I believe, 5 or 6 bonus points in there, maybe a little more. So we'll, again, try to get that clarified if we get a caution. But as they stand right now, Mikey Neal is set to win this championship, and he's also set to win this race. But again, we have a lot of laps to go. We're only on lap 5 of 60. And there's just not much going on here. These guys are very good at pacing themselves. They're not going to rush anything early in this race. They know better. They know just to take it easy and don't press anything. They don't need to. I will point out that Jamir Muhammad does have the fastest lap with a 52.742 on lap number 2 3 laps ago, which is very interesting because you saw during qualifying they were actually faster than that. So they are actually running a little bit slower in the race than they were in qualifying. Those guys pushed it a little bit harder in qualifying to try and get every ounce of speed out of that car that they could. They don't necessarily have to do that here in the actual race itself. As long as you can stay out front and hold off the rest of the field, you're doing just fine. And that's exactly what these guys are doing. Those front 2 have really pulled away. If you damage your car during qualifying, it would be just like if you damaged it during a race, and it will affect your car. It will also invalidate your lap to where it does not count at all. But once you go into the race, it will actually reset, and you will start all over again. So each session, whether it goes to practice, to qualifying a race, your car resets. However, it will affect your time, as anytime you receive a 0x, a 1x, 2x, anything like that, you receive an incident point in qualifying, whether it be for the wall, off course, spinning, whatever it may be, it does affect your lap, as it does invalidate it, and it does not count at all. And that is what happened to Jamir Muhammad. But look where Jamir Muhammad is right now, sitting in 3rd place. He is running down your race leaders right now. As you know, we pointed out a second ago, these guys were running 52.7s was their fastest lap for Jamir Muhammad, 52.7s for Mikey Neal and Alex Huffman. But right now, that is nowhere near what they are running. They are running 54 threes, 54 ones, 54 twos. They are 2 seconds off of their fastest lap here, 7 laps into this race. That right there shows you just how bad the fall off is here for these tires. They are just ridiculous when it comes to falling off. And we got a little bit of a battle going there. Contact made between the 91 of Jim Locking and the 7 of Brett Mesri, as they make very little contact, keep going. But you see the damage there to the 7. on his left side of the car, and I'd be willing to guess that Jim Locking probably has similar damage to the right side of his car, although he may not have quite as much. We'll see, and it'll be a little harder to see as, there's the 7 of Brett Meservey hard into the outside wall, and that's probably because of that damage he already had, and the 101 of David Gainforth is going to get by him, and now they are going to duke it out. Here's Brett Meservey's not done just yet. He's making a comeback, so even with that damage, he's able to make a run here on the inside of the 101 of David Gainforth for 5th position. Question is, can he complete the pass here as they go into turn 1? He wants to get back up there to the 91 of Jim Locking and give him that little bit of a run for his money. If they had made contact, don't think it was anything too bad, and I definitely don't think it was an intentional, just a hard racing incident there. But it gave, obviously, the 7 of Brett Meservey quite a bit more damage than it did to the 91 of Jim Locking, and he may clear the 101. No, he's not. He's going to have to settle back for 6th position. Behind them, of course, is Justin Starr, but back to the front. Here we go. It's the 2 of Jameer Muhammad. He gets by the 83 of Alex Huffman. He takes 2nd place. He is set to go to the lead now. He's got to run down Mikey Neal. We'll go ahead and pull your top 3 up there so you can see 1.7 seconds separate 1st and 2nd. We'll see if that gap goes down. There it is, 1.699. Now 1.716. So the gap is fluctuating between 1.6 and 1.7. We'll wait to see if that time does drop. There it is, 1.583. So Jameer Muhammad is on the hunt. He started towards the back. Here he is fighting his way to the front, 1.5 seconds behind. You'll see exactly where he started, 10th place. He has not been below 10th since the start of this race. He's up to 2nd place right now. On the contrary to Mikey Neal, he started 1st. He's never left 1st. He's stayed there all race so far. We've only completed 10 laps when they come to the line right there. And Mikey Neal has led all 10 so far. This, again, is very interesting because this is a different scenario. Even though Jameer Muhammad could potentially get in front of him and win this race, it's not going to be enough for him to just win. He needs to win and have Mikey Neal finish quite a ways back, and he needs to lead the most laps, lead a lap, get the fastest lap, which currently he does have possession of. He needs every bonus point he can get, and he needs Mikey Neal to have some troubles here tonight in order for Jameer Muhammad to possibly win this championship. 10 points, again, is not a lot, but when you only have 11 cars on the track, that definitely can hurt you as far as points go. So we'll go back here a little bit. We're going to keep an eye on that gap to the leaders. It's 1.166 seconds now, and it is dropping, but we got a battle going on back here between Dan Butler and Brandon Young. It looks like Dan Butler in the 21 is going to take 8th place from him. We'll keep an eye on that one. Here's Brett Meservey. We talked about him a little while ago. He was up there battling with David Gainforth. He is now back in 10th place. He has fallen back quite a bit, and you see right there, that car just will not turn. Something is wrong with the steering, and the car just will not turn on him, or turn for him. Let's take one look at that real quick. Watch him come around the corner. You see how that wheel is bent? The car just will not turn to get him through the corner. So something is drastically wrong with him as we're keeping an eye on that lead. Let's also go on board here with the roll bar camera. Actually, let's go to his helmet cam and go on board with the 7 of Brett Meservey. And we'll see exactly how much he's having to fight this wheel as he may be coming down pit road. He is indeed. That car just will not handle the way he needs. So he's going to go down pit road, and he's going to have to get that damage repaired. As you again saw there twice on the replay there, just how bad that car was handling. As we go back to the lead, there is your 2nd place car, Jameer Muhammad, running down your race leader, and he is catching him. He went from 1.7 seconds to 0.7. He's reeled him in here a second, over a second, Now it's .53, so there is no doubt in my mind Jameer Muhammad will catch Mikey Neal here, probably on lap around 15 or so, maybe sooner. Could be here on lap 14, but the question is, you can catch him, but can you pass him? As you see right there, we have a couple of drivers that are did not start here. Josh Coley and Bryson Barker, and Brett Meservey is on and off pit road here. Let's take a quick look. As we'll take a look there, he did not repair all that damage, but he did do something. He was there for 15.4 seconds, so that may have just been a scheduled stop as well. He needed to come in pretty soon, so we'll see. Again, we don't know of fuel mileage. We didn't get a chance to talk to any of the drivers about that, but we are definitely watching, and we want to mention Butch Frazier coming down pit road as well. He has damage. But not much, so I don't think this is to try to fix that, as they do not have any fast repairs. So we go back to your lead here for the or battle for the lead anyway, and the championship battle going on. There is first and second in points as they run right now. Mikey Neal and Jameer Muhammad. Can Mikey Neal hold off Jameer Muhammad? Two extremely veterans here in this series. You got the two veterans, but totally different spectrums when it comes to the age. Not saying Jameer Muhammad is old, but you have a seasoned veteran in life, and then you have a rookie, for instances, in life. As Mikey Neal, much younger than Jameer Muhammad. So two different age groups here battling for the championship, as it's the youngster Mikey Neal that is holding off Jameer Muhammad right now. We'll be looking to see. We're on lap 15. Will these guys be coming down pit road here soon for pit stops? Again, we were unable to talk to anyone earlier in this race to see if they would be coming down, or when they would be coming down pit road. So we'll just have to keep an eye. But right now we are 16 laps into the stint for most everybody, except for Brett Meservey and Butch Frazier, who have 2 and 0 laps on there, as Butch Frazier just came down again, or a little while ago, for his first stop. So let's go back here and take a look. We got some pretty good battles going on back here, so we don't want to forget about him either. You got Brian Jones, David Gainforth, Justin Starr. This is currently a battle for 4th, 5th, and 6th out on the track. Or sorry, 5th, 6th, and 7th, my bad, out on the track. But we're keeping an eye on that front one. And we see if they get within .1 of each other, we will go right back to the front of this field. As we'll see right now if Justin Starr can try to get by the 101 of David Gainforth in that 99 machine. And it looks like Mikey Neal's actually picking it up a little bit. That gap went from .2 to .4, now .466. So let's go up there and see if maybe something happened to Jameer Muhammad. And I don't see any damage to that car. So very interesting there. So we'll take a look in and see if we can find anything. And I don't see any damage to the 2 car of Jameer Muhammad. So either he is conserving just a little bit here, or Mikey Neal has picked it up now that he sees Jameer Muhammad behind him. But now, as you see, that gap is down again to .266 seconds. So he is definitely starting to reel him in once again. And there was the issue right there. You see the lap car of the 7 of Brett Meservey that was in there. He just went a lap down. So that is probably what caused that gap to go up to about .4. And now that they're both by him, Mikey Neal is once again trying to get by. And look at the lap car here. Brett Meservey trying to get his lap back, as he is fighting as they come down. Essentially, what's the backstretch here at this track? Is there's only 3 corners, so it's technically, I guess, a backstretch you can call it, as they go into turn through. Brett Meservey actually passes Jameer Muhammad here, and with that damaged car, this right here is what we were talking about earlier, how important those tires are here. He is actually a lap down after coming down pit road, but he just drove by your leaders to put himself back on the lead lap because of how fresh those tires are. He is a second faster. 54.9 was his last lap. 55.6 for your leaders. So he is a second faster when laps compared to 5 laps versus 19. So don't kid yourself. If we get a caution, these guys will come down for tires. If they don't, if it's 10 laps or more, they are probably setting themselves up to fail. You do not want to stay out on those old tires here at Pocono. It is a bad deal, as it looks like there it is. Jamir Muhammad is going to get by Mikey Neal. So it looks like with those older tires, Mikey Neal, his car is not handling the way he wants. Jamir Muhammad now out front as he just took the lead. How many laps can he lead? And when will they have to come down for fuel here? We know they will. And there it is, coming down pit road for both your leaders. Who's going to be following down? There goes Alex Huffman coming down. And I am imagining everybody is going to come down with them. There comes Jim Locking as well. Brian Jones not coming out. Justin Starr not going in either. So we'll see. We're going to watch these guys. We already know Brian Jones, Justin Starr have to come in soon. As there it is for Jamir Muhammad. He comes to a stop. And 4 tires probably, I would imagine. I don't think anybody's going to take 2. Not this early in the race. As we'll see, everybody is coming in. Will Mikey Neal beat Jamir Muhammad off the line? He is going to get the better spot on pit road. We'll see. Mikey Neal right there. And he's not going to do it. He is going to come out second when they all shuffle out. So once again, Jamir Muhammad gets the lead at just the right time, and he will come out of pit road first, but they still have 2 cars in front of him. Brian Jones and Justin Starr have not come down pit road. We'll see. Brian Jones going to come down this time. No, he's not. Justin Starr, however, is, as he gets him locked up there to get on pit road. And he should be good right at 54 miles per hour, so won't be breaking any speed road pit limit. Speed limits here today if we can get it out. But Brian Jones still not coming down pit road. He has completed 20 laps. I would imagine we expect to see him come down pit road this time. Now, while we have a minute here, we do want to thank everybody for tuning in here tonight. We are grateful to have all of you here. If you like the race, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button. And, of course, if you haven't, or hit the thumbs up if you haven't before, hit that subscribe button and bell to be notified of all upcoming events. But there, as we figured, is going to be the 45 of Brian Jones coming down pit road. Ooh, and it looks like he had the locking him up there. Almost got it turned sideways as he's coming down pit road. And I don't see Jamir coming just yet, as we have Brian Jones still being scored as your race leader. We should see, there he is, Jamir Muhammad coming around turn 3, coming to the line. This time we have Mikey Neal all over his back bumper, and the roles have reversed. I really think that was a bad situation there for Mikey Neal. I think if they would have come in a lap or 2 earlier, I really think Mikey Neal would probably be your race leader right now. But the way it worked out, Jamir was able to get by him, and that little bit, just 2 to 3 tenths ahead, as he is right about now, that was exactly what he needed in order to stay ahead of him here. And I'm not sure why the ticker is saying 1:19. That is inaccurate. That is what we're being received into our scoring loop. For some reason, that is what it's pulling in. It should update here when they come to the line. But indeed, that is, there it goes, 0.350. So that's the gap. That was roughly the gap when they came down to pit road here just a few laps ago. Well, 3 laps ago for that matter. And that was enough to let Mikey Neal or Jamir Muhammad take the lead and Mikey Neal fall to second. So now we know what's going to happen is Mikey Neal is going to have to short pit here when they come down, and that will be roughly around lap somewhere in the lap 40 to 41 range is when they will come back down pit road again. And again, it's just going to be a matter of how he can get by. He's going to have to short pit him. And the problem with this track and short pitting, as you see right there, there's not a lot of room to get on pit road. There's not a runoff, so that actually benefits Mikey Neal more than it does Jamir Muhammad, because he can duck off at the last minute and still get away. That's actually beneficial to Mikey Neal. He can get off at the last minute and not let Jamir know what he's doing. And if Jamir tries to capitalize and jump in there with him, there's a good chance he could get a speeding penalty or unsafe pit entrance. So right now, as far as short pitting goes, Mikey Neal has the advantage as we are coming up on the halfway point here in roughly 6 laps. So we'll see. We're going to go back here and take a look at this battle we see going on. It is Brian Jones and Justin Starr. They're side by side. It looks like Brian Jones is going to take the position, but no, Justin Starr fighting back on the outside here. We'll see if he can hold it. No, he can't. Brian Jones is going to take 6th place here. So just another outstanding battle going on. Again, we're keeping an eye. Right now, Mikey Neal has the championship wrapped up, and I don't think much is going to change in that order, as there's just not enough of a gap between those two. Even if Jamir Muhammad was to get the fastest lap, most laps led and a lap led, I don't think it's going to be enough. And, of course, the fastest lap currently belongs to Alex Huffman, as there goes another battle for the lead. Mikey Neal had it for just a moment, but he lost it. Right as we went to him, he lost the lead again. So we're going to stay back here with these guys. I know we hate to stay on these two the entire race, but they are the two battling for the championship, and they are the two battling for the lead as well. So we have to stay here and cover this to see. But Mikey Neal had the lead there for a split second, and Jamir Muhammad got it back. As a look at Mikey Neal on these fresh tires, he is a master at wheeling this car. It's when these tires start to fall off, I think that senior veteran of Jamir Muhammad starts to come in, as he knows how to conserve those tires a little bit more, or the fact he just knows how to handle older tires a little bit better. So that's where, that veteran status comes in. He just has a little bit more experience racing on older tires, because he's been doing it just a little bit longer than Mikey Neal. So Mikey Neal, while he may not win this race, it looks like he probably will win the championship. However, we are still far from over. We're only on lap 27 of 60, and these two are really getting it after it here, trying to figure out who's going to get the win. Right now, it's back to Jamir Muhammad on lap 27 of 60. So we're going to go back here and start looking for some battles. As here comes Brian Jones, putting to the inside of David Gainforth in the 101 machine, and he will take 5th position away from him fairly easy, as he is now on the hunt for Jim Locking, who's right there in that 91 machine. So we'll see if he can get by and take 4th position. Next would be Alex Huffman in that 83, who currently, again, has the fastest lap on in the race, currently in 3rd position. So it'll be interesting to see if maybe he can get up there and make something happen as well, as he does have that fastest lap. But fast lap doesn't matter when you're running 52s around the track as your fastest, but right now they're running 54s. Keep in mind, 8 laps. There's only 8 laps, so from pretty much lap 5 on, the tire wear kind of stables out a little bit. The handling may not stable out, but the tire wear probably does a little bit, and your speed kind of levels off here as you're getting those consistent 54s to 55 second laps. So we'll be looking to see when they get closer to 55. That'll be around lap 16 of this stint. They're on lap 8 right now, fixing to be lap 9, as we are 2 laps away when they get to the line from being at the halfway point, and Mikey Neal still running down Jamir Muhammad. So Jamir Muhammad, at this point, unless something happens to Mikey Neal, he is running, trying to get as many bonus points as he can, and just try everything in his power to get that championship. Oh, as he hits a little bump there and he shoots up the track, and he manages to save it though. But again, Mikey Neal running for the championship, Jamir Muhammad running for the win. 10 points separating them coming into tonight. As of right now, it would be still Mikey Neal. He's led the most laps, but they both led a lap, so those points kind of cancel each other out. So then, of course, Mikey Neal would get the bonus point for leading the most laps, and then, of course, Jameer would get one for finishing ahead of him one spot. So those kind of cancel each other out. So it would be still right around 10 points leaving the race, which would give the championship to Mikey Neal as they run currently right now in the race. I want to point out here that Brett Mesrevy is currently in the pits, and his night looks to be possibly done if he can't get back out. And currently we are on lap 30 of 60 as we are just about at the halfway point. Once they complete this lap, we will be at the halfway point. As you see Jamir Muhammad coming out of turn 2. When he completes it, we'll step away to a quick commercial break as we'll watch this lead, as we'll take a quick break here at the halfway point. And we will be back to cover the rest of this race. Caution free so far here at Pocono Raceway. As there you see it coming to the line, so we will be right back here in just a few moments after a quick commercial break. All right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen, here on lap 32 of 60. We just crossed the halfway point, as it is Jamir Muhammad out front. He's now led 11 laps, make it 12 as he crosses the line right there. He has now led 12. Mikey Neal, 18. Brian Jones has led 2, but not much happening here on the track at the moment. As you see, as we go through this field here, just not a whole lot going on. Justin Starr may have David Gainforth running him down here soon. But overall, just not a lot. Everyone is really spread out here at the moment. David Gainforth there. Looks like you would have a battle going on, but that is not a battle for position. You have right back here Brandon Young and Dan Butler. That's a somewhat of a battle going on. But that gap we saw that was 0.3 for Mikey Neal to Jamir Muhammad is now 1.5 seconds. That gap is starting to grow, now 1.6 seconds. So Mikey Neal really needs a short run. Once we get into the long run, 13 to 18, 20 laps like that, Mikey Neal, that car is just not handling on the tires the way he wants it to, and he starts to fall off. And that's what happened on the first run. And then, of course, Jamir Muhammad was able to get by him. This time he was ahead of him to start with. So Jamir Muhammad was able to pull away quite a bit. Mikey Neal down to 1.46 seconds. So he could be conserving just a little bit. I don't think he's conserving that much. I think these tires are just not working the way he wants, and he's having to drive a little bit harder than he wants. So hopefully he can calm down, collect himself, and try to short pit, as they will be pitting here in the next 4 to 6 laps. They will be coming back down pit road once again, and we'll see who comes out as the leader when that's all said and done. We're keeping an eye on the chat here tonight as well, as we're trying to find all the racing action for you here. Brian Jones, Jim Locking, Justin Starr, as well as David Gameforth. There you see, those 4 are on the same lap. However, at the moment, they are extremely spread out. Nothing going on the track. So we'll see. Again, this is a product of it being the championship night. This is, of course, as we'll get rid of that here for you. This is the Global Building Contractors 12-week series, as this is the championship race here in determining who's going to win it all, and then they will be off till June, roughly around in there. So we'll see as we'll put the top 3 back on there. Mikey Neal still trailing behind the lead, and look, you can see just how big the gaps are here. There's a 5th and 6th. There is 6th place, 7th place, a little behind him. 8th place is way back here in turn 3, so they are completely spread out on this track here at the moment. So while we have a moment, let's go to Alex Huffman, who's our fastest lap here, back on lap 21. Let's go on board with him. So we'll go silent on the mic here for a minute, and we're going to go on board with Alex Huffman for a lap or two, and just let you see what it's like to be behind the wheel here of that number 83 machine, who again has the fastest lap here in the race. All right, we're back then. You can hear the 83 downshifting here in the corners. So interesting. We know some of these people don't necessarily downshift. They keep it going, and they just kind of coast through the corners. But not the case here for Alex Huffman, as he is actually downshifting in the corners. And I want to point out, too, that Mikey Neal has a now 2.233 second gap to the leader. So he is definitely falling back here. And we are getting close to pit stops. We saw drivers come in earlier around lap 18 to 21 is when they came in. right now we're on lap 19, so I would expect to see some of these drivers coming in. As there go your front two coming down pit road. No surprise there. We knew they'd come down together. Jamir Muhammad not giving Mikey Neal a chance to short pit. We'll never know if Mikey Neal was going to come down unless we ask him here in the post-race show, assuming they are both in the post-race show. So we'll see Alex Huffman coming down as well. Here comes Brian Jones down. Jim Locking coming down. Justin Starr, however, staying out as he will be your new leader. And will he lead the lap? No, he will not lead the lap, but he is coming down. Let's go to pit road and cover this action real fast as the 45 comes flying into pit road. Jamir Muhammad off pit road. Mikey Neal thunders off. No, gets a slow start off pit road. And it's going to be Jamir Muhammad that beats him off pit road, followed by Mikey Neal coming out. And who is going to be the next one? It looks like it's going to be Alex Huffman that will come out next, followed by Brian Jones, fourth, followed by Jim Locking, fifth, coming out of pit road. We'll see Justin Starr, currently your race leader. He has opted not to come down pit road just yet. We'll see, is he going to come down this time or not? No, he's not. He's going to stay out. So is Brandon Young and Dan Butler, who are battling right now for second position. These guys, and one of them's coming down. Brandon Young coming down pit road. Dan Butler opting not to. So right now we have essentially the two admins of the league, Justin Starr and Dan Butler. They're race control. They are the ones that take care of and run this thing. Well, they're running this race right now, not coming down pit road with 20 laps to go. They have to come down eventually, and I don't think anyone's going to make it, so they will have to come down. If Justin can hang on to this and complete one or two more laps, he should be able to make it on fuel and then come back and potentially win this race. Same thing for Dan Butler, as you'll see Justin Starr right there coming down pit road. As this is his 20th lap, so we know they can make it 20 laps on fuel. However, some of these guys have made it 21 as Dan Butler comes down. He's on his 21st lap. So this could get very, very interesting to see if they can make it or not. There's Jamir Muhammad once again takes the lead. Mikey Neal behind him. As you see, that gap is not accurate. It will update at the line next time. Justin Starr still being scored in third. Now fourth as Alex Huffman will officially take third place. So after it cycles out once again, it is now back to how it was. Mikey Neal in second, Jamir Muhammad first, and of course Alex Huffman sitting in third place after winning last night in the super late model. So a lot of stuff going on here. We'll see what those gaps are when they officially come to the line, but Jamir Muhammad right there. Mikey Neal's not that far behind him, probably about 1.5 seconds, probably closer to 1.9 seconds. It is not a 58-second gap. There it is, 1.1. So we were completely off there, as we thought that'd be a little bit bigger gap than it was. But 1.116, now 1.03. Mikey Neal has those fresh tires again, and he is a rocket on those. As you saw there on lap 41, he just ran the fastest lap with a 52.559. So now we have that scenario. Has Mikey Neal been holding off? Is he going to have a run here at Jamir Muhammad? Well, we will have plenty of racing going on around here with Northwest. And we have Upper Edge starting tomorrow night as well with their super late model series. Some short track racing coming your way at 7 p.m. Central Time tomorrow night, followed by, of course, Northwest at 10:30 p.m. Central Time. But we will be back on Sundays, February 17th, here for the RACECORE Xfinity Series. And then we will be having the truck start up in June, so we will have a little bit of a gap in there. But we are in talks with some people to get some dirt track racing here on Tuesday nights to fill that gap there for you. So we will have lots of racing action here in the very near future. But we'll see. That gap now 0.9. It was 0.899, 0.9 basically for Mikey Neal. So Mikey Neal back on the gas pedal here with these fresh tires, and he is running down Jameer Muhammad for the lead. He really doesn't need to do much. He just needs to stay right where he's at. Even if Jameer Muhammad leads the most laps, it's not going to matter, as Mikey Neal is setting himself up to be the champion here tonight of this series. And I dare say the youngest champion at that. We would have to go back and look at the records, but I would imagine that is probably an accurate statement here, as he is definitely rocking this race here, running in second. Not the win. That's how you'd love to end it, but hey, you can't beat a championship when it comes down to it. So we'll see if he can hold on, unless something majorly drastic happens to Mikey Neal and he falls all the way back to, I don't even know if he could. He might be able to with bonus points, but Brett Meservey currently on pit road 21 laps down. The most laps he could go is 15 at this point. So with 15 to go, I don't think it's going to be even possible. I think Mikey Neal has pretty much locked up this championship. If we get here probably 5 to go, maybe 10 to go, and he's still on track, he would have definitely solidified that championship and put it, won't be putting it in victory lane, but he'll be putting it in championship lane. If there is one, we'll find out. But regardless, Mikey Neal, the youngster, setting himself up to be the champion here. Let's go back a little ways through this field, see if we find any battles going on. But you see right there, not much, but here you have Justin Starr and David Gainforth. The Justin Starr in that 99 machine is trying to make something happen here. See if he can get a run here. He gets to the inside of the 101 of David Gainforth. David Gainforth currently holding that bottom line very well. Those two are on the lead lap, and that is a battle for position here with 14 laps to go. David Gainforth holding off Justin Starr pretty well. Brandon Young way back here. That's the next position. You look at that. That's right there is 7th position as they're crossing the line. There is 8th position of Brandon Young. He's just now coming out of turn 3. So quite a ways behind. Then, of course, Dan Butler right there with him, running him down. And it looks like maybe Jameer Muhammad was trying to conserve a little bit on fuel, as that gap has gone back up to 1.5 seconds. So we saw Mikey Neal start to have a run there, and that very well could have been Jameer Muhammad slacking off just a little bit, laying back here, trying to conserve fuel so he does not have to come back down pit road again here before this race is over, as these guys are going to try to make it. They've completed 8. They have 13 to go, so if you do the math on that, 8 plus 12, of course, would be 20. So that'd be 21 laps. That is going to be a stretch, but they could do it. We saw Dan Butler make it 21, and everyone that has pushed it there has come in on lap 21. So if you can make it to your pit stall on fuel on 21 laps, you should be able to make it to the start-finish line. We'll see, though, as these guys are going to try and push it all the way to the end here for the championship night for the Global Building Contractors 12-week series here at Pocono Raceway. Again, 150 miles, 60 laps is what we had. We haven't really looked at it, but here our track temp is 86 degrees. Air temp is 73, and your wind is 10 miles per hour out of the west. So gusty wind here tonight, pushing on these cars as well, and that will hinder them. So we'll keep an eye. I don't think we're going to see any cautions at this point, as we'll go ahead and pull that up here on your screen. Your race stats here for the night. The fastest lap of 52.559. The fastest mile per hour average is 171.52 on that lap. That was the average speed. Your, of course, fastest driver was Mikey Neal. We've had 0 cautions, of course, for 0 laps. And we've had 5 different lead changes with 4 different leaders. The average lap here tonight is a 54.122 as they're running 54.5s now. Again, once you hit about 5 to 8 laps, these tires are shot. There is nothing left to them as we're running those 54.5s now. The fastest was 52s. So it goes to show you just how bad the fall off is here for these tires as you're watching Brian Jones currently in a 4th position. Again, we're watching, there's just nothing going on the track right here. This is the closest battle we have currently back for 8th position between Brandon Young and Dan Butler. Again, that is the closest battle we do have. Dan Butler trying to get to the inside here. Or possibly the outside, whichever one will work for him to get by Brandon Young in that 51 machine. But neither one of them really pressing in each other too hard. We'll see if they can possibly really mix it up here. Maybe Dan Butler can get by him and get him one more spot. He'd love to get that 8th place. Both of them in a solid top 10 finish right now as they run. We currently have 10 laps to go here, and again, once we get to the 5 to go, that will be the point of no return if we were to get a caution. But at the rate we're going now, I do not see that coming at all. They've been caution free so far. Why bring one out now? They're just they're too spread out. That's not going to happen, I don't think. So we'll see, but I would be willing to get, unless Mikey Neal has something up his sleeve here in these last 10 laps, now 9 laps to go, I just don't see him winning. He may not even be all that concerned with the win here tonight. Let Jameer have it. This is his night to try to get the championship, not the win. So he's playing it smart and just going for the championship here probably instead of trying to push the issue to get the win. Let's go back here. You got Brett Mesery still on pit road. Butch Frazier currently in 10th place. Again, just to update here on with 9 laps to go. Bryson Barker, who disconnected earlier, something happened, he was unable to race. And Josh Coley, not sure what happened to him, but he is not here tonight either. He was in here at one point, but not here at the moment. So we're going to go back to this battle going on the track. Still Dan Butler and Brandon Young, the 51 and the 21 battling for currently 8th position on the track. Dan Butler just hasn't quite got a run to get by him, and he's right there in that Toyota Camry trying to make something happen on that Chevy Camaro tonight. And we'll see. You see him looking to the inside trying to make it happen. And now you have Jameer Muhammad back here coming up on Butch Frazier here, the lap car. As it looks like Butch Frazier's going to let him by pretty easy. Not much of a battle. He will put up Butch Frazier currently 2 laps down. He was already 1 lap down. So, of course, there was no real reason to battle Jameer Muhammad. You're not trying to fight to stay on the lead lap. Mikey Neal trying to get by as well. As there you see the gap between them here. 2.9 seconds, 14.5 seconds between first and third. There's first place right there. He's going into turn 1. And you see him come in anytime soon. There he is. There is Alex Huffman, 14.6 seconds behind. What a lead for Jameer Muhammad. I really do think Mikey Neal had the car to win earlier in the race, but I don't think those tires, once they went down, they just were not fast the way he wanted them to be. They couldn't do what he wanted. And, of course, Jameer Muhammad is so good on older tires. He's proven that week in and week out. That is why he's battling for the championship here tonight. But again, we'll know all of this stuff. We'll know all the facts once we get there. I also don't think that Mikey Neal is pressing it as hard as he could. He knows what could happen. If he presses it too hard and he wants to spin out, if he fell all the way back to 10th place with the Jameer leading a lap and leading the most laps now, that very well could give him the championship. So Mikey Neal, he's smart and he's going to race that way. He's not going to press the issue. He's going to hang back and just ride this race out. You have 6 laps to go early in the race when he thought he had the car to win. We all thought he had the car to win. He was out front leading for quite some time. I think he really thought he was going to try to push it a little harder. But Jamir Muhammad, who, again, we'll pull that up, started in 10th. Basically, the rear of this field is only 11 drivers started. And when he started 10th and within 10 to 12 laps, when he caught Mikey Neal, was all over his back bumper, Mikey Neal probably realized at that point that he did not have the fastest car in here. He does have the fastest lap, but he does not have the fastest car on the track. So there's no need for him to press it. He knew that, and here he is setting himself up to be the champion. With 5 laps to go, if caution was to come out now, this race would be over as Mikey Neal does get by Butch Frazier there. Let's go back to these two and see how the battle's going there, as Dan Butler finally has gotten by Brandon Young to take 8th place away from him, as that battle has kind of fizzled out here. You see now the gap is quite a bit, so the 21 wasn't able to quite get a run. He finally did, and you can look how much faster he is now as he comes down the front stretch here. He has got about a 3 to 4 car length gap over him, and they're set to go a lap down 2 here, but I don't think they're going to catch him here with 4 laps to go. As Jamir Muhammad comes to the line, these would be his next 2 victims, the 21 and the 51 of Dan Butler and Brandon Young. We'll see, as there's Jamir Muhammad coming, and it looks like Brandon Young and the 51 is going to make a run back to the inside. Well, this could get very interesting if the leader does catch him, because there goes Brandon Young. And no, he won't officially have him cleared. Dan Butler going to hang on to 8th place as this battle's starting to get better and better between these guys. Currently for 8th position as they're trading it back and forth. Nothing going on for the lead right now. 4.1 seconds to 2nd place. So Mikey Neal pretty much holding his spot where he is. Dan Butler, I'm not sure he's going to get 8th place right now. This will be very interesting, as we have 3 laps to go. I really don't think Jamir Muhammad's going to catch him, and even if he does, I don't think he's going to try to pass him. He'll probably just let these guys duke it out, as they are on the lead lap, and it's kind of an unwritten gentleman's rule here. If you are a lap car, you're supposed to get out of the way. It's kind of an unwritten rule. They do have a flag for it, the blue flag with the yellow stripe, I believe. However, if you are 2 cars on the lead lap, like Dan Butler and Brandon Young are battling for a position, you do not have to get out of the leader's way and pull up and let them by. If you're battling for a position with someone on the same lap as you, you do not have to get up. So if he was to catch him, that could play a factor, but I don't think he's going to. As there, Jamir Muhammad comes to the line. We now have 2 laps to go here, separating Jamir Muhammad from the race win and Mikey Neal from the championship here, as he will get a nice little prize here at the end of the season. We'll try to talk to Justin Starr as well to kind of give a recap of the season here and what is coming in the future. But before we do all that, we have to finish the race. So that battle's kind of fizzled itself out, but doesn't matter too much, as there's Jamir Muhammad. He is coming up to the line here in a moment, and he will officially be at 1 lap to go here at Pocono Speedway. There he is coming out of turn 3, coming to the line. And he very well may catch at least one of them. We'll see. It is 1 lap to go here, presented by Northwest Racing Series for the Global Building Contractors. 12-week series comes to an end tonight here at Pocono. It is going to probably be, unless something happens, folks, here in the next half a lap, it is going to be that driver right there. It is going to be Jamir Muhammad getting the win once again here tonight. We'll see. Again, anything could possibly happen between now and then. He's on the backstretch. I just don't think it's going to happen, as there you'll see it going down the backstretch here for the last time, going into turn 2, and there is turn 3. and the iconic What Turn 4 as they come around. It is going to be Jamir Muhammad getting the win here once again at Pocono Raceway for the season-ending race. It's what a race it was. He gets the win, but Mikey Neal bringing home the championship here tonight for this 12-week series. But in the end, the race win goes to the 2 of Jamir Muhammad. We are going to go ahead and get to the post-race show in just a minute, but before we do, let's go ahead and get to your unofficial race results. Getting the win here tonight is going to be the 2 of Jamir Muhammad. Second place is going to go to the 8 of Mikey Neal. And third place is going to be Alex Huffman. Fourth place will be Brian Jones. Fifth place will be Jim Locking. Sixth place will be Justin Starr. Seventh place, David Gainforth. Eighth place will be Dan Butler. Ninth place, Brandon Young. 10th place will be Butch Frazier. 11th place will be Brett Meservy. 12th place will be Bryson Barker. And rounding out the field here tonight, not starting the race, that will be the 33 of Josh Coley. That will do it, of course, here for your unofficial race results. We'll be right back here in just a few moments with your post-race show. All right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen, here with the post-race show. And, of course, we're going to be talking to our top 3 drivers. And we will have Justin here. We have him in the booth. And we'll have him confirm here in a little bit that Mikey is the official champion. But before we get to the championship talk, we've got to talk to our top 3 drivers here for tonight's race. And of course, starting with third place, that is the 83 of Alex Huffman. Didn't quite lead any laps. You started in second, and that was your highest. You ended up finishing in third place here tonight. So not quite the win, but you did win last night. So to get a win and a third place to end this season here, is it a good way to go out on a high note for third place?
Oh yeah, for sure. I knew coming in here I had a chance of getting third in points, so I was just trying to stay as smooth as I could, and I was also trying to help keep Mikey calm there during that whole ordeal because he had a chance to win the championship, so I was trying to be a good teammate at least. But it was a fun race, that's for sure.
Definitely, to end the season at Pocono on our Daytona on Sunday and Pocono tonight. We talked about it, how it's interesting. It's not a track you would think about ending on it. It makes for a very exciting race. You go Daytona, which is obviously known for big wrecks and really good racing, and then you come to Pocono tonight, where it's a 2.5 mile track, and they just forgot to put a turn 4 in here somewhere, so you only have 3 turns. It's known as the Tricky Triangle. What goes through your mind when you know your season finale is at the Tricky Triangle and anything could happen?
What goes through my mind is how to beat Jameer, which he is way too quick here, but he came flying through that field. I just try to run my best here is all I can do. I'm not the best here. It is a tricky triangle. I can get one corner down one lap and the next two I don't hit at all. It's just all about consistency here, and well, you can see the two that were most consistent all night long.
Well, definitely consistency is key here at this funky track, to say the least. 3 different tracks shoved into one for different corners. But congratulations on third. A great way to finish out the season. And we know you got some sponsors and shout-outs, so who does be for that third place finish?
I gotta thank my family and friends who support me doing this. I gotta congratulate Jameer on the win and Mikey for his second place finish. And however the championship comes out between these two, they put on a show all year long. And VRN, Justin and Dan for putting on this league. Gold Cube, Global Building Contractors for supporting this series, which is awesome of them. And especially for next season, it's going to be even tougher. Hopefully I can keep up with these two that finished ahead of me today next season.
Well, definitely, we will be looking forward to next season, which, again, we'll be talking to Justin here in a minute. So we'll talk about all of that coming up here for the next season, so we won't go too far into that. But finishing in second place here tonight, unofficially, your season champion. Again, that's something we'll clarify here in a minute when we talk to Justin, and then we'll probably talk to Mikey again after that is officially formally announced. But tonight, you led 18 laps, and you ended up coming just a little bit short of getting the win here. So on your side of things, we were watching out there. Did the car just not handle after about 10 or so laps for his tire wear, or were you just kind of holding back there a little bit, knowing that you just needed a decent finish?
Well, I really do not like this track. It's not one of my best tracks. So I got the pole. I knew I got a bonus point out of that. So I tried to stay out front for as long as I could, and I saw Jameer there, and when he got behind me, I know he got on me, and I know he wanted by. So I'm not. I wanted to race him, but when you got probably one of the best guys on iRacing at Pocono, in the fixed car, you just can't stay in front of him. So I was able to get behind him. I tried to stay behind him a few laps, see if I could get what he was doing, and actually I did pretty good on the second run until I just started overdriving the corner. And once I overdrove one, I just started overdriving all of them, and it just seemed consistent. And then the third run, I just went full out for the first 8 laps, just trying to get as much as I could, and obviously the tires wore out by then, so I ended up falling all the way back.
Yeah, and we wanted to talk to a driver about the tire wear, but as par here for RACECORE, went caution-free here tonight. So about how many laps could you get? It looked like to us y'all were getting about maybe tops 8 laps before you were nearly 2 seconds off your normal speed, and we kind of guessed around 20 laps. So give us an idea of fuel versus tire. Which one to you was more important out there?
Definitely tires. That's why I just wasn't really trying to. I didn't really want to short pit at all, just because I knew if I short pitted him, I'd gain that time, but I would lose it back really, really easily because, Jameer then on the long run would be 4/10 quicker every lap, which I'm pretty sure it was anyways when we were on the same tires. But, yeah, I'd definitely rather take tires. We were able to get around 20 laps, well, about 22, 21 laps on fuel, so that's why I just pitted every 20. Jameer did the exact same thing, and pretty much everybody else did that exact same thing. So, I think that's what we were on, but the tires are definitely crucial here. This is a track that definitely kills your tires. Obviously, they have the 3 different track layouts in all 3 corners, so every single one is different. You can't really make a perfect setup for this track, and so you're going to lose a lot of tire here.
Well, you definitely do, and we saw it here tonight. We were running 52 second laps all the way to 55 here at the end of this race. But you came in second place here tonight in the race. Again, unofficially as of right now, the season champion. We are going to get with Justin to clarify that here momentarily. But you do have some sponsors and shout outs to who would those be here for that second place finish.
Yeah, first of all, we got to thank our sponsors, Global Building Contractors. Thank you guys so much. Cannot wait to have you guys next season. Also got to thank iRacing Drivers World, Dan Butler Designs, and Gold Cube. Thanks to all of our sponsors, especially Gold Building Contractors, like I said, for this season. And also, we got to thank my teammates, K and PRG. Thank you guys very much. I got to thank you guys for broadcasting every race. We love having you guys broadcast, and can't wait for next season. Also, got to thank Mom, Dad, and they're both watching. Thank you guys. Love you guys. Got to thank Dan and Justin. You guys do a great job hosting every single race. We have a great time. Also, got to thank you for all the viewers for watching. Thank you guys every week coming in and watch our race. And hope you next week for our 36-week series. You guys will enjoy that. And also got to congratulate Jameer on the win and Huffy on third place.
All right. Well, again, congrats on second place. And before don't go nowhere because we'll probably be talking to you here in a minute. But before we do that, we need to talk to our race winner, not to overshadow the race win here tonight with the championship. But you got the win here tonight, Jameer. Unfortunately, sorry, Jeff couldn't be here for you, but you got me instead. So you come in here and you lead 38 laps. You led the most laps. You led a lap. You pretty much did almost everything you needed to do to get this, but with the low car count, did it kind of hinder you here trying to get that championship?
I don't think it would have mattered. Mikey would have probably got second or third. I think he got me by about 8 points, which he deserves it. He was very consistent at all the tracks for the 12-week series. I came up short tonight. I missed out on the pole. I think I had the fast lap, but I just barely scraped the ball in turn 2, which cost me that point. And he got that point, which sucks. And then I missed out on the fastest lap. The best time to do the fastest lap tonight was going to be that first lap right after the last pit stop because the temps, the track temp cooled down. And unfortunately, I had a lap car that I had to navigate around, and that cost me there. So I think Mikey got that fast lap. So that was 2 points that cost me there. Maybe a 4-point swing there, which would have still left me by about 4 points down. So, but Mikey did a great job all season. He deserved it. Just came up short.
You just came up a little short for the championship, but you don't want to take away from the win. Knowing you have this win, and we have a little bit of a break till we start the Xfinity again on Sunday, which will be, again, that's one thing we'll be talking to Justin about here in just a second. Does it give you that little bit of momentum going into the next Xfinity series?
I think it does. I felt pretty good in this car. I'm always pretty good in this car. I won 4 of the 12 races, which that's pretty good. We'll see how next season goes. It's going to be a totally different format. So it's going to be interesting.
Definitely will. And we know you got some sponsors and shout outs you want to do. So who those be for that win here tonight?
Yeah, congrats to Mikey on the championship. Hopefully he enjoys that trophy that he gets. Big shout out to Global Building Contractors for sponsoring the series and sponsoring my car for the 12 weeks here. Shout out to Gold Cube, Dan Butler Designs, and iRacing Drivers World for sponsoring RACECORE. And just thanks to my family and friends for watching.
All right. Well, again, congrats on the win here tonight. And, of course, before we do sign off here for tonight, we do have Justin Starr, league owner, here in the booth with us as well. So first off, welcome to the booth, Justin. And we'll let you officially announce the winner as you have the points, I believe, ready.
I have the points, and by 8 points, your official champion of the Global Building Contractors 12-week series is Mikey Neal. Congrats, Mikey. Good job. And also congrats to Jameer Muhammad on the championship in the iRacing Driving World Series on Sundays that we were doing this week. You guys did a great job. It's, you guys could go over the points and say if he would have did this, this, and this. Well, wrecks happen, and sometimes what you have planned, it's racing, man. It's mostly luck. You guys know that. But you guys got skill. You guys are the guys everybody's always chasing down each week. But with that, congratulations, Mikey Neal. You did it. You got the championship, and congrats to Jameer Muhammad on the iRacing Driving World Championship. You guys did a great job. At least at this format that we have been doing in the past, we're no longer going to be doing this. Even when we do our shorter series, I'm going to do something different so that the last race matters, that you never have one guy who's already won the race when you come inside the race. You know what I mean? So everybody's racing for something when we get to the end. What else do you need to ask me there, Charles?
Well, that gets a lot of it right there. A lot of new stuff coming in the future. Obviously, the truck series won't be starting, I believe, till somewhere around June. So Tuesdays will be free from RACECORE, unfortunately, for a while. However, for those guys, I know we had a bunch of people in chat with sad faces because we don't have any RACECORE for a while, but we'll let you talk a little bit about the new Xfinity series that is coming up in February, so that one is coming up very quickly.
In February, we're actually doing a season. I would call it a season more than a series because it's going to start from February 17th and end at the end of November. There will be a chase format / playoff format in this series or season. At the end of the season, like we did last year, we will have an all-star race where the top 25 guys in points by the end of the season, which is the whole season, not when the chase starts, the entire season. Top 25 guys get into the all-star race, and then we'll probably have a qualifier to fill some empty pit stalls if we have some guys with real-life issues or something's going on, they can't make the race, to fill those stalls like we did last year. And that will be a money race at the end of the year. And that series, we're doing the 3 trophies for. These other series like this, we aren't doing trophies for them. It just becomes too expensive on the league itself. Yes, we get donations from our drivers. We get donations, of course, or sponsors help us out, but there's still a large amount of money that comes out of pocket. You know what I mean, Charles? So that series is going to be an entire season, top 3 trophies, all-star race with cash on the line at the end, top 25 guys. It should be a good time. If there's people listening to this and you are a serious sim racer and a clean driver and you're into competing in a season instead of 12 weeks or 23 weeks here or there, feel free to hop over to RaceCoreOnlineRacingLeague.com and fill out an application, and we'll look you over. That's going to start on February 17th. As far as trucks goes, the truck series is going to be the entire NASCAR, what is it, Gander this year they're calling it, or whatever, Outdoor Gander or whatever, I don't know. It's not Camping World anymore. Yes. But anyways, it's going to follow the NASCAR schedule and be the full schedule of NASCAR, which will include Eldora again. And that will be 23 weeks, and that should be starting mid-June. We haven't really figured it all out yet. You know, I'm trying to get that there. We had a little thing about who was going to broadcast and whatnot. So you know how that goes. But that's what's on the plan for this year. We're going to have the Global Building Contractor Series, which we thank them for coming on and helping this league out. That sponsor is awesome. They really helped this league out a lot. And we're going to bring that back in February. Like I said, an entire season that's going to run all the way to the end of November. And then the truck series is going to start up sometime in June. And that's going to go to the end of November. And then after that, we're going to bring in pro modifieds and back into super late models. We are running super late models right now. It's 8 weeks. You can go to the website and check that out. It is not on VRN, but we are running it. So if you want to follow what's going on there, you can, and you can also on the RaceCore Online Racing League channel. That's on YouTube. What else you need to ask me there, Charles?
I think that pretty much covers it. So we'll have a little bit of break, but we will be back here shortly with some more racing from RaceCore, of course, here on VRN. But before we sign off for tonight, we need to thank all of the sponsors that have come on board, just as everyone else has. We need to thank them. Those do include your presenting sponsor here for this little 12-week series, that is Global Building Contractors, iRacing Drivers World, Dan Butler Designs, and of course Gold Cube, the newest one coming on board here. And of course, for the broadcast side of things, a big shout out to Northwest Racing Series, Wolves Beard Co. Beard Balm, RaceOnTexas.com, SimSpeedShop.com, iBog, and of course themselves here at RACECORE. Big shout out to these guys for coming on board. And before we sign off, we do want to put this out there that, of course, if you are a business looking to do any sponsoring, of course, RACECORE is always taking sponsorships. They help out a lot. And here at Virtual Racing Network for 2019, we have a few more spots left for advertising. So if you are a business that was looking to get some exposure here in the sim racing world, message us either on the RACECORE page if you want to do the league, or here on the Virtual Racing Network Facebook page. So we have quite a few opportunities available between the two of us, I'm sure. Hit us up. And on behalf of RACECORE Online Racing League here for this championship race and Virtual Racing Network, we will see you again for RACECORE in February.
This copyrighted broadcast may not be used in any form without the authorized written consent of Virtual Racing Network. VRN would like to thank all of our fans for your support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.